Alright, I'm Adam, that's Pete, that's Vince, and this is another episode of the Toon and 10. Happy New Year, everyone! 2016. First things first, before we crack on with the first half, is that we need to announce our Get a Mug Man Toon Network mug winner.
Talk about Happy New Year.
Oh yeah, and this is just the beginning. So
how do you arrange it? Is it like a handover at a place? You've got to hand them over at a car park or at a mutually agreed place?
It's probably not going to be as shifty as that, mate.
I'm going to give him a signed photo as well.
Okay, so the lucky winner of the Toon Network mug, as I'm sure you've all been waiting weeks for, is a Mr. Stephen Howlett from Twitter. So what I'll do, congratulations, mate. You're the proud owner now of a mug. I'll contact you on Twitter and I'll get your details and I'll send it across to you. So well done you, thanks for playing, and thanks for using that awesome hashtag that we completely plucked out of thin air. Wonderful, right, well, it's been a decent 7 days as a Newcastle fan. But let's crack on with the first half and let's talk about the latest game, which was a 2-1 victory at West Ham. Timer at the ready, go! Fantastic. Where do you want to start? Do you want to start the fact that it's a 3 points, the fact that we scored a couple of incredible goals, I think, or that our new signings slotted right in? A lot's happened. Where do you want to start?
I'll start with the basics. I think the formation. I think we've hit on a formation that works.
What's the key?
I think the key is, it's obviously Wijnaldum. That's the key. I'm going to be perfectly blunt.
No, I'd agree with you. Absolutely agree with you.
It's playing your best players in the best positions. And Wijnaldum with 9 league goals, he's by far and away our best player. In fact, I was talking to a guy next to us at the match. I'm already worried about him leaving. That's how much he's outgrown us.
Yeah.
Which is always a worried side at Newcastle. But I think the formation worked, and when we've hit on that formation, we look a lot better team.
Do you think is it more balanced? Does it just fit better? Is it fewer square pegs and round holes? Is that?
Yeah.
There's a purpose. For me, it was and I guess, and I know we're obviously going to get onto Shelvey. Felt like Shelvey was always looking forward, always passing forward. And I think whereas before we had a midfield that kind of played horizontally, I felt there was a directness. Certainly was.
Yeah, they didn't complement each other, did they?
I guess a bit of impetus and a bit of actually, I guess, assertion before. I mean, we'll take it back to the Everton game again, where we played two very defensive midfielders in defensive midfielder positions. And we sat back and we invited them. We invited them. And if you think, look at West Ham. They're in far better form than Everton are. Everton are a very good team, don't get me wrong, but West Ham won an incredible run before they. Yeah, absolutely.
No, but absolutely. I think when you play like that, like we did against Everton, ultimately the forwards.
Is it defeatist?
They're going to get a bit bored, really. The reality is you're going to be starting to not expect these balls to come in, and then when they do come in, you might not be as prepared as you were. Whereas if we start playing with that impetus, they're going to be expecting the game to move forward, and they're going to be
talking about balls. That ball from Shelvey, that's
67 yards of pure magic.
The people around me,
everyone gasped
at each other.
Didn't they?
I think the lad next to us jizzed in his pants. Honestly, I haven't seen a ball like that at Newcastle since Cabaye.
Well, that's it.
But first game.
But I'd argue, I don't think Cabaye could hit a pass that long and that accurately.
Mental. It was.
That's it. And I think Shelvey brought to that game the attributes that we hoped he will bring to the team.
Did you know he could pass like that?
Yeah.
His passing range. I didn't watch a lot of Shelvey. I didn't watch a lot of Swansea games.
What I always said before when we sort of we were closing in on the signing is that what he'll bring is he'll bring the passing range that we've just been devoid of, like you say, since Cabaye left. I think the difference is, I think what else he brings is actually if we get penned in, say from a goal kick, and as we do to other teams as well, we push high up to stop them from passing out of defence. If Shelvey comes deep, that doesn't matter because a 35-yard pass to him is like a 10-yard pass to anybody else. It's actually exactly. It can be advantageous in a number of ways, but I think that, like you say, I think the crowd were up for it. We're keen to see him. Wijnaldum played out of his socks.
What did you think of the second half? There was very
Well,
much
I was
a split in the second
going to
half.
say that there was certainly frustration there. I think we should have.
We always
should have
make it difficult for ourselves.
made it very
Passing it
difficult.
around the box.
I would say again, McLaren always comes up. Genuinely, you can see genuine passion from him. To be fair, and I mean, the way he chucked that chewing gum, Jesus, pure passion that was. But it was, you could see it really did mean something to him. And
but
when you start seeing that, you're like, go on. And I mean, we should have had that wrapped up.
We should have been 3-0 half time at least, I think.
Come on, really.
But we have to do it the hard way around.
We always do.
6-7 minutes of stoppage time in the end, but I think
It was nerve-wracking, wasn't it?
It was awful, but like college.
Elliot saved towards the
Well,
end.
I thought that was in.
We've managed to talk about Elliot, didn't we?
No, Elliot.
Robbie,
well done,
Robbie,
the Dilschlag. Well done, the
Who needs
Dilsch.
Victor
Robbie, Elliot.
Colaccini rolling back the airs. What a! In fact, there's last couple of games. Superb performance. Perez, wonderful finish. But I just think, like you say, it's that dynamic of Shelvey and Wijnaldum in the centre. I mean, he's only started playing Wijnaldum central for the last 3 games, I think. But man, what an impact! I mean, why he was ever on the left wing? I mean, he was trying to almost fit him in the team. McLaren's still finding his best formation and shape. But
Mitrovic, I know, obviously.
I thought he had I thought he had an incredible
chest in that. He's in control of his chest.
Well, I think he did everything right but score, and I think I do believe the goals will come. He did all the difficult stuff for me, the sort of unglamorous side, the hard work.
Yeah.
For me,
he takes a touch too many times around the box. If you're not noticed,
he does. But I think he a couple of times he did show composure.
A couple of times he showed composure.
Stop. That's the end of the first half. Hey, we've had some some positive things to talk about.
Nice to have a positive.
It is.
It's got to be the
half.
positive half we've ever done.
I think it's the most positive half since.
Since
probably.
Yeah.
Southampton,
Only the 5 months later.
Yeah, never mind. 2. We'll see after this. Well, welcome back to the second half. You're watching the Toon in 10, courtesy of the Toon Network. Right, we're going to crack on with the second half now. It's the January transfer window, and we've already got a couple over the line, and they both made their debuts at the weekend. So that's it. Let's talk about signings. Let's talk about transfers. Newly signed players and potentials as well. Time that they're ready, go. Okay, so I mean, we've talked a bit about Shelvey. I mean, why don't we start there?
Yeah.
£12 million. Vince, it was interesting your reaction to our possible signing for 12 million. I mean, how did you feel?
I'll be perfectly honest with you. When the news was coming through, and I'll be honest, I don't watch a lot of Swansea. I watch Swansea if they're on Sky. They're playing a big team, and I watched them against us. So I haven't seen too much of them. I did have them in a fantasy football team for a couple of months. He got the odd assist, got a couple of good points, but I never really watched them that much. And when I saw £12 million, and I was sort of blinded a little bit by the fact, well, why is Swansea letting him go?
Yeah.
Falling out with them, bit dodgy, hadn't really made it in England, went to Swansea. I was kind of thinking, but having seen him play in the flesh for 90 minutes, properly having a good look at him, for me, £12 million is a deal.
Wow.
Well, there's a reason.
I think I'd have changed.
Convert. He's a Jonjo convert.
There's a reason though. He's 23-year-old, he's England international. 12 million on that basis, and how he played, that's an absolute bargain. However, there is another side of Shelvey. You need to be aware of this.
Yeah.
He does there are times he doesn't turn up. There are times when he seemingly doesn't fancy it. But at the end of the day, no. For 12 million, I thought it was a fantastic signing. Not just because he's a good player. It represented a bit of a shift that I've been crying out for.
Transfer, wasn't it?
But just actually buying someone with Premiership experience, young, English. Absolutely perfect.
Well, by all accounts, we've been chasing him since last summer.
This is what I was going to check.
And I think this has been months in the pipeline.
So it wasn't just opportunistic.
And you've got to look at it. You think Swansea, they aren't performing, and you saw how he didn't really his Swansea career, it's fair to say, didn't really shower him in glory. Didn't really end well. But maybe in the back of his mind, did he half think, well, I'm going to Newcastle next month. I don't.
Slight worry, isn't it?
It is. But I think. But I also, you could see how much he was pumped up for a new challenge. It's fair. It's you can say all the right things in the press. It's easy for a new signing to sort of glorify a new club and sort of like flatter them. But I honestly think his performance showed right.
Yeah.
Actually, I've got something to prove here, and you've got to remember, there's the Euros in the summer.
Yeah,
He wants to shine. He wants to be on that team. He's on the fringes. And we'll talk about a couple of other players on the England fringes in a short while. But I think I think he can only be good for us. It's the assets that he's got are something that our squad has been lacking for a long time.
Definitely. So it goes back to a fantastic signing. I think I can't remember who the last player was, but something like 2010 since we bought a player from
No, it was Obertan. It was, I think, 2011.
Well, it was like
I think it was like 3 million Obertan that we paid.
It was a long time.
And that would have been
since we paid.
summer 2011.
2011. I mean, it's
shocking,
a long
isn't it,
time.
when you think of it like that?
And we've been crying out for it, and I guess this is leading on to Townsend. So here's another one who, again, problem is that fee. If it's 40 million, that's insane. That's so inflated. He's not even playing.
He's not even in the squad.
However, at this point, I'm not really bothered. It's not my money, and if we get him in, he represents a better option than other people in that position. So
that's it. I consider him probably a better option than Marvo, Obertan.
So by talking an option, you're talking about an option on the bench.
Gouffran. Well, no, it's an option. I think we have to manage our expectations of Townsend. He'll probably get involved in a goal statistically about one goal every 6 games. He'll get involved with, so scoring or assisting in the Premier League. I think he's a good player. He's fast. I certainly don't think he's worth, in his current circumstance, over 10 million. But then, homegrown players are part of the game now. They're an important part of the game. Therefore, you add a premium in that respect. He is on the fringes. My feelings are he'd be good, but I think if we get him, we'll probably pay over the odds for him.
Should we have been in for Austin at 4 million? And if we weren't, why not?
I think.
Why has he gone?
I think at 4 million, it's a no-brainer. Yeah.
It isn't. But
he's got 18 goals last season. 4 million, right? At the end of the day, I get the fact that I can't see him necessarily playing with Mitrovic. So who do you drop? But 4 million.
Okay, so 4 million actually bought us Save. What do we think of his debut?
Good. I mean, he gave the ball away a couple of times, but he's getting used to the league.
He seems powerful,
he's
though.
fast.
I think he'd be a decent Toyota replacement.
He's got the winger instinct. Did you see?
But he's quick.
Right a little
he's quick.
bit.
But he's quick and he can cover ground, which I think will be important for a defensive midfielder as well.
He got stuck in.
Quick.
Stop. It's just they're never long enough. These episodes.
Did you set that right?
Yeah, it was 5 minutes.
I think you've cocked up.
I really haven't.
Anyway, it was 6.
Cocked up. What are you talking about? That's the end of it. People are baying for more, but that's it. That's it. Thank you very much for watching another episode of the Toon and 10. Thank you for welcoming us back. New year. Plenty more episodes to come. Stephen's got his mug. We've got 3 points. We've got bloody Shelvey. More on the way, possibly. We'll see. Good times ahead, fellas. Good times ahead. Right.
We're going to get that 10th in the league I predicted at the start of the season.
Oh, the glory days are back. The glory days are back. I've been Adam. That's been Pete. That's been Vince. And this has been the Toon and 10. Catch you later. Cheers.